So it's not uncommon when you ask a question about angles in the GameMaker community to get an answer that includes not sine or cosine, but a function that looks something like Lenghdir x, length with a L-E-N-G-T-H, because I know how spelling works, Lenghdir x or Lenghdir y. And instead of taking a single angle as sine and cosine do, it would take a length, which, if we're going to mirror this line of code, line 25 up here, would be camera distance, and an angle. Let's see, if you wanted to, you could do those for these functions as well. Instead of camera distance times the d cosine of player direction, that would be Lenghdir x of the same value, and down here, that would be the sine. Do we need to flip the negative signs in front of Lenghdir y? I don't remember. Anyway, so sometimes there is a strange bit of confusion. I do need to flip the negative signs. Sometimes there is a rather strange bit of confusion about exactly what these functions are, what sine and cosine are, and whether or not they're the same thing. The short answer is they're the same thing. Lenghdir x and y are simply abstractions for sine and cosine functions. They do pretty much the exact same thing. They just do one of the extra steps for you. Or 2 steps if you count converting from degrees to radian. If you were to define them in a language like JavaScript or GML 2.3, they would look something like Lenghdir x. Lenghdir x would simply look like this, and Lenghdir y would look like that. You can use either. If you are used to using Lenghdir x and y from 2D GameMaker or something like that when it comes to dealing with angles, you may prefer using those functions over sine and cosine. I personally prefer using the trigonometry functions, as you can probably tell, because it doesn't hide the details of what's going on as much. I think it's helpful to know what exactly the calculation is doing. If I were to go back to the original, especially when it comes to things like the camera's look direction, which I had to correct a couple of videos ago because someone told me, hey, that math isn't right. That's a thing that happened. Anyway, I think Lenghdir x and Lenghdir y do make it easier to obscure what exactly is going on, which if you're working with 3D, you probably notice isn't something you really want to have happening. You generally prefer to know exactly what numbers are going where, what numbers are coming out, why they're doing that, and that sort of thing. I'm not going to be dramatic about it. I'm not going to be saying Lenghdir x and y are bad and you should feel bad for using them. If you want to see that on display, just go poke the 3D channel in the GameMaker Discord in the eye and you'll probably get some results. But those are functions I have not talked about yet so far in the series. They're functions I probably will not be talking about again for the rest of this YouTube channel. And hopefully this video serves to bridge the gap. If you want them, you can use these functions anywhere that use a sine and a cosine. If you want to use them for something like this by a sine or cosine value that's not multiplied by any value, you can just set the distance to 1 over here, or you can use this term here as the input value. That's one of the places where I'd said where it gets kind of messy. Regardless, that's that. My name is Michael. I like wizards and dragons and making games. I have a Patreon, so if you want to contribute towards these videos being made, there's links to that in places. The code for this is going to be in the video description, probably. There's probably not going to be any new code. I'm probably just going to leave this comment here or something like that. We'll see. I hardly changed anything in this video. This is mostly a talking video. That's it. Bye. Special thanks to Edward Holt, IndiePunch, PoshoDev, and Zenith for supporting these videos. If you want your name in the credits and to force me to say them out loud at the end, head over to the Patreon page in the video description and join the fun.